That game against GWS in 2016, which was the last round, we had 5 or 4 listed players and they smashed us by about 180 points. That was the trend throughout the year, and we had a lot of academy players and top-up players come up and play with us, which I'm not faulting them at all. They were awesome for us all year, and we really appreciate all their efforts throughout that year.
Once Mitch Hahn took over the role of NEAFL coach, I think there was a massive change. The role of the sort of perception of NEAFL changed, along with Fags coming as well. Like we knew that if a good NEAFL side equals a good AFL side, because we're sort of the next players coming through. So
Honey was really big on spirit. So throughout this whole 2017 season, he was huge on spirit, just making sure the spirit was awesome. You know, players would be coming up and going back down to us as well. So there'll be players coming in and out, but we're going to make sure the spirit in the reserves team is always going to be up, you know. And that was his big sort of overarching theme.
It was about, okay, how do we get the best out of this group? What in terms of development is going to be the most important process for our players to learn, in terms of a new game plan or adjustments within our game plan that Fags has brought in conjunction with all the other coaches, and then how do we implement that into our guys. In terms of wins and losses, that was never a big thing for me, or something that I looked at the previous year. It was more about what's the process to get this team to be playing the football that we want to play at Brisbane Lions.
We started off the year by beating the Sydney Swans, who were the favourites in Sydney, and they had a fully listed team, we had a fully listed team, and yeah, I think that sort of just started the belief that, you know, we could actually go all right this year.
And we really, I suppose, drove on that through our meetings. Okay, here's an opportunity for us to be able to change what people think about us, and who better to try it against than the Swans, who have a fantastic culture in the way that they go about their footy program. To start off our campaign with a win against them was something that we were able to really build on, which then led into our second game against the Northern Territory Thunder up there when we hadn't beaten them for a long period of time. So we got on a little bit of a roll being able to beat them, and we tried to use those games in the past as motivation to allow the players to say, okay, here's an opportunity for us to create something we never have before and to make it our own.
Jai Lyons lays the tackle. Now Freeman thought he was going to kick, instead he gives it off to Jansen. Jansen around the corner and drills it.
Real dash around the footy, I reckon.
Now they'll come away with it. This is Archie Smith, inside forward 50, on the bounce. Brewer's there all by himself. Just runs in,
it's
open
unusual
goal.
Because obviously coming from 3 wins in 2016 to them winning 10 in a row in the start of 2017 was sort of a weird feeling, because we're not used to that.
Obviously we're all striving to play as much AFL football as possible, but we're just looking to you know, enjoy ourselves, and we're all enjoying our footy again, and I guess that's what comes with winning.
Games where everyone was getting on the score sheet, everyone kicking goals, like that's what you play footy for, just for enjoyment.
There's a really good atmosphere around the club. Obviously we got a few wins on the board, and yeah, we just tried to keep the vibe up at training.
I think the performance of the whole team, the way that we were picking each other up off the ground, the way that after a goal was kicked, no matter who kicked it, every player would get to him. Those types of things that we tried to instill in the team. We saw a real progression and a real buy-in from the group about, didn't matter who come into the team, if a goal was kicked, you get over there and pat your mate on the back because you know what it feels like.
I think the boys were always up and about, you know, and I think it sort of fed towards that senior team as well, because then they started winning and being more competitive in the AFL as well. So it sort of filtered throughout the whole club. And as I said before, the spirit was huge, and it was up for every week, and then which sort of got us the wins, I guess, and then, you know, continuing on to the end of the year.
We are here at the Gabba, the beautiful Brisbane cricket ground, the preliminary final for 2017.
Very quick and good skills, both sides of the body.
For Eagles, just caught and scrubbed off his kick. Clever tap from McInerney, gets to Clayton, chips it inside 50 and finds Ben Keys.
One spot really in this last quarter.
McInerney just hits it forward onto Lyons. He gets it around a corner and it's there. A clever set play from the ruck. McInerney, he knew he had runners going forward.
Another one of them. Michael Close takes the defensive mark as the siren goes here at the Gabba, and the crowd at the Gabba get on their feet and applaud their side. The Brisbane Lions are into a grand final.
I was pretty nervous going into it, actually. I thought that the Swans list on paper was better than ours. I thought they had more experience. They were playing, their senior side was playing in the finals, so they had a lot of guys dropping back. They had a very healthy list as well.
yeah, running out grand final, first one I've ever been in, and just happy to be there really. Just tried to play my role as best I could.
Hello and welcome to the Sydney Cricket Ground for the 2017 NEAFL Grand Final.
I sort of, before the game, during my preparation, sort of looking, I was playing in the midfield, and I thought that I'd have to have a pretty big game individually to give our team the best chance to win.
By foot, back to Keys, now to Ruben William. He's wrapped up as the Swans push back in numbers, and just coming away with it was Keys. Goes high, it's coming back around, it's there! Keys to open space, Ruben William on the far wing. He's got it on the bounce. What's going to present for him? It's Freeman there, but he decides to go shorter. And the run, the gut-busting run came from Blake Brewer. He lines him up, 45-degree angle. He kicks from 40. It's decent off the boot. It's better than decent. That's 2 for Brewer.
How we were going at half time, and we spoke about a few things that we wanted to adjust in the third quarter about moving the ball forward. And the players really adapted to that, and our third quarter was brilliant. I think we got a 20-point lead in that quarter. Our pressure and intensity was fantastic.
Looking for his options and directing traffic. Loads up and goes long. McInerney can't get a run at it. Aaliyah flies, couldn't take the mark. Ballenden can't get a disposal away. Clever off the deck from O'Sullivan. Keys runs into an open goal, and the Lions lead by 16. And mucking around with it, they will survive. An enthralling third quarter, and the Lions have taken their chances.
So going into the last quarter, I remember talking to the guys at three-quarter time. I'm sure none of them remember what I said, but just continuing to say that this club, the Sydney Swans, will come at us. That's what good clubs and good cultures do.
They had so many opportunities to bury us at some stage, and we just kind of held on. It was a real grind win.
Great numbers there. The Lions bring it back in, they're in strife. Dawson has it. Dawson loads up. Another one-step shot on goal from Jordan Dawson, and another massive strike from him.
Walker and O'Sullivan ends up with Edwards. Now to Orion. He turns. He goes. It's online. Here they come, the Bloods.
I think the last quarter there was 20 inside 50s to 8. So, you know, what really helped us there was Matty Eagles obviously took some really strong marks.
Towards forward 50, and Eagles stands up.
Gets a left foot down there, but Eagles, he's the man. Leonardis around the corner. Eagles, he flies. They need to now. Talia goes down deep, Pink, but outpointed by Matt Eagles, the recruit.
I remember having the ball in my hand when the siren went. It was the best feeling, knowing I'd taken a mark. It was a few seconds ago, everyone's yelling at me, just hold it, hold it. And yeah, I just tried to get off the mark. Tried to get off the mark as far as I could. And,
recruit, he's almost been best on ground.
Yeah, siren blew, and yeah, just went crazy from there. So.
And there it is! The Brisbane Lions are premiers!
To hold on like we did, we were pretty stoked with that. I just remember Eags throwing the ball up in the air, and we were all looking at each other like, oh, go, you know, that's we've won it.
To play with the boys and your mates, I guess, that you play with the whole year, and to really get that success at the end of the game, and was like ecstatic. Like it was so good. And obviously playing the NEAFL grand final like 2 years prior to that with Aspley, I sort of really wanted to get that win again. So it was sort of that winning sort of culture we had throughout the year, and then that sort of endeavour in the grand final and that want to win was just, I think, in everyone's, which we all went out there. It was a tight game, but it was just a game I'll never forget.
Remember after the game going in there and the families being invited into the rooms, people who had travelled to come into the rooms to be able to sing the song. I sort of sat back. I got in there a little bit late because I was talking to other people, and I remember clearly walking in there and the guys were in the circle singing the song with, you know, the support that they had throughout the year, and their families and their friends, the really people that were close to them that were there, to be able to sing the song and for them to be able to hear that. I think it sort of sunk in them to say, oh, this is what footy's about for me and for our footy club. So that was a special moment.